Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kay, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at my project pan update. So this is update number 2. So this covers everything that I used between the beginning of February and beginning of March. If you're not sure what a project pan is and you've just stumbled across this video, then I highly recommend you check out my first video where I introduced this year's project. It just gives you all the information about what this project is, why I'm doing it, what it all entails. And I also leave some links in that video in the description for other people that are doing project pans, particularly this style of project pan. But if you're not new to project pan, I just want to give you a little reminder that you'll notice that I do use some hashtags, and those hashtags, if you click on those, it will link you to other project panners, other people that are doing projects similar to this one, people in the project panning world in general. So if you are interested in this kind of video, then you can just click on those links and you can find a lot more people that also do it. So we're just going to get straight into my update then. Now, again, I've not had a great month. I didn't have a great month for the last update either. And this month's been quite similar in that I just haven't really used makeup a lot. I did hope that I was going to at least make a little bit more effort over this last month, and it didn't really happen. There was a couple of reasons for that, but the main reason was just I just wasn't feeling it. There were a couple of things that happened this last month, nothing major, but it kind of just made me go, I can't be bothered. So wasn't great for project panning this month, but I did make a little bit of progress, and I feel like I did a little bit better than I did last month. So let's get into those details. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is my primer, and I'm using the Illamasqua Hydra Veil primer. Now I had 2 of these little deluxe sample size pots. I finally finished the one. I haven't finished both of them. I do still, let me just fish that one out. I do still have the second one here. So I've used this a couple of times, but it's barely been used at the moment. But this one is empty, so I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy that I just managed to finish something, to be honest. So that's great. But yeah, I do have a second one left. I'm not going to introduce anything as a backup for this one at the moment, just because I know how rubbish I've been the last couple of months. It's taken me 2 months to finish one of these, and I thought when I originally introduced this that this would have been done in a month. So I'm not going to introduce a backup at the moment. Hopefully I can get this done within this next month, but who knows. We'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, one down, one to go. Next we've got the foundation, and mine is actually a BB cream. So it's the Nivea Essentials BB cream in Light. Now I did use this a couple of times, but not a massive amount. I did make some progress on the weight with this. So it was 41.5 grams at the last check-in, and it's now weighing in at 40 grams. So I actually did better than I thought I would, but it's not as much use as I have been getting out of this product in last year's in last year's project. I know I was using sort of 2 grams plus per month, so 1.5 grams. It's not a disaster, but I'm getting to the point now where I'm bored. I just want this done. So hopefully by the next check-in I can have made some decent progress on this. I don't think I'm going to have finished it, but you never know, I might surprise myself. But that's that one. The next product that I've got in my project is the powder, and mine is the Huda baking powder in the shade Pound Cake. Now I didn't mark this last month because I hadn't used it. I think maybe I used it once. It just wasn't worth marking, but I have actually managed to get a mark on it for this update. So you can see this blue mark here was where I started, and this mark here is where I am currently. So all I'm doing is I'm just shaking it out so that it's level, and then just putting a mark on. So yeah, I'm happy that I've actually got some visible movement on this. Considering I didn't really use makeup a lot, I did try to make an effort to use powder whenever I did do makeup, whereas the month before I think I just forgot to use this, or if I did it was minimal. But this past month I've definitely tried to make more of an effort with this, so hopefully this trend can continue and I can make some decent headway on this soon. Next we've got the MAC Fix Plus Prep and Prime Spray. So again, I have actually made some progress, but again it's not massive. So the purple line is where I was by the last check-in, and this check-in we are at this orange mark here. So you can see the last few months where I've barely used any makeup at all, there's been next to no progress, but enough that I can mark it, whereas last year I was getting sort of decent distance between the lines. So hopefully I can get moving on this again. Not that I hate this product, I don't, I really do quite like this, but I don't really like to use it too much as a face spray. I prefer an actual setting spray to fix my makeup in place. This tends to get used as a bit of a refresh if I've overdone it with the powder and I'm just trying to rehydrate myself a little, or if I've got a particularly shimmery eyeshadow and I want it to sort of stay in place, then I'll use this for that. So I like it, but I kind of want to get onto something else now. So that's that. So next up we've got bronzer, and the one in my project at the moment is the Too Faced Natural Lust bronzer. I'm actually making progress on this, which is great, but I'm also confused because I don't really use a ton of bronzer. I literally just light dusting here and there and that's it, job done. But yeah, I've lost half a gram again. So at the last check-in, I'm sorry, I keep looking around the camera because my computer's sort of behind where the camera is. So at the last check-in we were weighing in at 110 grams and we're currently weighing in at 109.5. I'm going to put the photos up as well of what it actually sort of looks like so that you can see if there's any difference there. I personally don't feel like there's that much visible difference. I think from when I first put it in, I do feel like there is a little bit more of this pattern sort of wearing off, but sort of month to month it's hard to see the difference. If you can tell the difference though, just let me know in the comments, because it would be really nice to know that somebody's noticing a difference and it's not just me going, is there, isn't there? So that's that one. Next is my blusher. So we've got this blush cushion from 3CE, or 3 Concept Eyes. It's still going. I still can't figure out a way to have some sort of visible measure on this to let you know how well or not well I'm doing, but I have used this every time I've done my makeup. I like using it, I'm still enjoying using it. I do feel like it's starting to dry up in the middle, but the edges are still, you know, they're still going. So I'm going to persevere with this. At this point I'm thinking I might just keep this in until it's done. Next month is the quarterly refresh, so I was originally thinking that maybe I would swap this out at the quarterly refresh and just put something different in, but I've got to a point now where if I can see that it's drying up in the middle, I kind of just want to finish this off. So I might not refresh this next month. You never know, it might even be finished next month. I doubt it, but you never know. But yeah, I think I might just keep this in until it's done. Next we've got the highlighter from Milk Makeup, and I feel like I'm making some actual progress on this. You really can't tell though, that's the only frustrating thing. It's hard to see on camera, but there's a little piece of clear plastic that comes up the side here, and it was above that when I first put this into this year's project, and it's now level, so I'm definitely making some visible progress on this. So hopefully within a couple of months I can put this in as an empty, which is quite exciting because this has been my nemesis since last year. And then the second highlighter that I've got is the one in the Natasha Denona Mini Blush and Glow palette. So this is what we've got here, and I think you can clearly see now that there's a definite dip going on. Again, I've tried to use this quite a lot as well. Whenever I've done my makeup, I've used this and the Milk Makeup sticks. Again, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell the difference sort of month to month, but definitely from when I first introduced this last year, there's definite progress going on there. I'm really happy that there's a dip, and I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like I might actually start to see pan soon, so that's exciting. Eye primer, and I've got the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer. And now, I said last month that I'm not really keen on this. The more I use it, the more I just don't feel like it's for me. It's very light on me, which I know some people want because they want their colours to pop out more. And whilst I do want that for my eyeshadows, I don't like that it doesn't blend into my skin very well. I like something that's more my skin tone to use. I just feel like it blends around the edges a lot more easily, whereas this, I really have to sort of work to get it to sort of be a bit more seamless. So not my favourite. I have made some progress on this. So at the last check-in, it was weighing in at 12 grams and it's currently weighing in at 11.5 grams. So I am using it, but I know I mentioned last month that I just find this really awkward. Like, I always get too much out, and that's how I'm using it. I'm wasting more than I'm actually using. I much preferred the application method from the Urban Decay primer, because you can just put on what you need where you need it and it's done. This just feels really fiddly, and I don't have time for that. I can't be bothered with that, so I'm going to keep it in for now, but I think maybe at the refresh next month I might swap this out. We'll see how it goes. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is eyeshadows, and I have the Pure collaboration with Raw Beauty Christie, the double-sided palette. So you've got the colourful side on that side and the neutral side on that side. I didn't manage to hit my target of 10 uses, which I'm sad about, but I did better with this palette than I did with last month's palette, so happy about that. I actually managed to use this 8 times, so I managed to get 2 more uses out of this one than I did out of the last one. Yay! Not amazing, but I'm happy that I've actually managed to get some use out of it. You're probably not going to be able to see any difference in the photos, but I did try. And I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back on what I said a little bit at the beginning of this project. So I said at the beginning of the project that I was going to set myself a usage goal on a palette for the month and then swap it out for a new palette. I'm not going to do that this month. I'm going to keep this one in, just because when I have used it, I've really enjoyed using it. I'm really enjoying the versatility of it. So if I want something plain, not that side, but if I want something plain, I can use that side, and if I want something a bit more bright, then I can attack this side. And I've really been enjoying that versatility. So I am going to keep this in for another month. I just want to get some more use out of it. I want to get some more enjoyment out of it. I just don't see the point in swapping it out for something right now when I want to use this. So it is staying for now, at least until next month. So next we've got my brow product, and that is the Etude House Drawing Eyebrow. And I actually think this is starting to show some movement, which I'm quite pleased about. As I've said before, I don't really do a lot with my brows. It's just not something that interests me. It's not something that I want to spend a lot of time on. It's not something that I really know how to do very well, to be totally honest. So trying to use a brow product is a bit awkward, but I do feel like I'm actually making progress, so that's good. It's not a lot, but for me, I'm just happy that there's something going on. Obviously, if I was using makeup more than I have been doing, there would probably be more progress. So that's encouraging, because obviously over the next few months, if I do manage to use makeup a bit more, I might actually be able to make some decent headway on this. So that's exciting. So again, it's staying in. And the way I feel about this right now, I'm probably not going to take this out at the refresh, just because something's happening, and I want to sort of continue with that. So that's that. Next we've got the lip liner, and mine is the Illamasqua colouring pencil in the shade Raw. And again, you'll see from the photo progress, not a massive amount, but definite progress. And I've got to the point now where when I put the lid on, I've started to cover up the text that was on the pencil, so that's exciting. I'm hoping that by the end of this year I can have finished this. I think that's ambitious considering how much I used it last year and how much I've not really used it so far this year, but that's the challenge I'm setting myself, is to have this finished by the end of the year. I think I can do it. Next up are my Maybelline Superstay ink crayons. So we've got two here. We've got one in the shade Stay Exceptional and one in the shade Accept to Dare, and I can never remember where the names are. They're on the lid, but I always look for them on the side. You'd think I'd have figured it out by now, but no. So I did use these this last month, so I am actually going to update these. I'm going to put photos up to show you the progress. Again, it's not much, but there is a little bit of movement going on here. And I did notice that both of these are now wound. Both of these are wound completely down, and you can see that this one won't go below that line, but this one I have to twist it up to be able to access the product. So I think it's clear to see which one I gravitate towards more, but at least I'm using them. I do actually really like this shade. I think that's the problem, I forget how much I enjoy this shade until I put it on, and then I'm like, oh you're nice. So again, I'm keeping them in until at least the refresh. I'm going to try and get a little bit more use out of them and see if I can, you know, make a bit more of a dent in them than I have so far. Next we've got the Too Faced Melted Matte Lipstick, and this one is in the shade Cool Girl. And again, weight wise, there's no progress on this. So it was 32 grams when I introduced it, it was 32 grams at the last check-in, it's still weighing in at 32 grams now. I'm not totally surprised. I did only use this a couple of times again this last month, so of course there wasn't going to be much progress. But again, I'm hopeful that over the next month or so I can get back into the swing of wearing makeup a bit more regularly, and I can start to make some progress on this. So that's that one. And then next we've got lip gloss. So I've got the I Heart Revolution in the flavour Salted Caramel. I've made some progress, not much, but this is now weighing in at 17 grams, and it was weighing in at 17.5 grams at the last check-in. So there's some actual weight movement going on, which I'm happy about. I don't feel yet like I'm at the point that I need to take the stopper out, but I feel like maybe by the next check-in I might be looking at doing that. I had one of these in last year's project, and I got to a point where you just can't access anything sort of below this sort of point, so you need to sort of take the stopper out to get the wand properly in there. So I think maybe by next check-in I might be looking at doing that, but right now I can still get a product easily enough, so there's enough in there. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it, it's still working for me. It's definitely staying in until at least the refresh. And then the next lip product we've got is the EOS lip balm. This one is mint. I had hoped that this was going to be finished by this check-in, and it's not quite. It's definitely getting there though, and it's got to the point now where you can see that grid that's in there. So by next check-in I imagine that this is going to be done. Now, I had one of these in last year's project as well, and I got to a point where I used it to the grid, and there was product sort of sitting below the grid. I don't know if I can explain this very well, but it got to the point where you were trying to access the product and it was just pushing through, and this all underneath was hollow, so you couldn't actually access the product once it had pushed past that grid, which infuriated me. And with last year I did try and like scoop it all out with a lip brush. I tried to like hook it out and scoop it out. This one I can't be bothered with doing that, so once it gets to the point that it just pushes through the grid, I'm going to call it done. I'm not going to introduce another lip balm at the moment. Again, I'm not going to guarantee that this is going to be finished. It's looking likely, but who knows. But I want to actually have a play around with some of the lip balms that I've got and see which one I'd want to introduce. So that's what I'm going to do this month. I'm going to use this and try a few out to see what I want to put into the project by the next check-in. So weight wise, this was 20 grams at the last check-in, and it's now weighing in at 18.5 grams. So you can see I'm using a chunk, but I'm indoors a lot. It's been cold, so we've had the central heating on. My lips have been dry as a bone, so I definitely needed the help. So lip balm is something that I can actually get through at the moment. And then last but not least, we've got my perfume samples. So we've got my little bag of samples here, and I didn't finish a single sample. I just didn't really wear perfume all that much, to be totally honest, and when I did, I kind of split it between 4, which was stupid. I should have just used one and just used them up, but I just didn't. So yeah, so I've got 4 that I've been working on, but I'm still at the same number that I was at the last check-in, which was 18. So that was the last product that I needed to update you on, and now it's over to you guys. How are you getting on with your projects? If you're doing a project, let me know how you're getting on. Is there anything that you're struggling with? Is there anything that you're doing really well at? Is there anything that's surprising you? Have you got any thoughts on my project? Maybe there's something here that you think you could give me some hints or tips on how to use it more effectively, or you think I'll find it easy to use. Just let me know all of that in the comments down below. I'm always interested to hear other people's thoughts and opinions. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button for me. It really helps me out and lets me know that you're enjoying my content. If you're not already subscribed to my channel but you think you'd like to catch up with me more often, then I'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button too. It's totally free and would help you to find me more easily in future. And with all of that being said, I really do hope everyone's well and staying safe, and I will see you all again in another video very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.